All right, I think we're live. I might have gotten it going on finally. Sorry it took a little bit. If this is going live, this is Tom with the Mortgage Firm. We're here just about every Wednesday. Actually, I'm here this Wednesday to go over with you what's going on in the market lately. My fellow coworkers, both Elizabeth is currently with a client, and Mike has some previous engagements that he is attending to, so he couldn't make it. So it's all me, I guess, for the day today. So we're going to discuss a little bit today. I want to go over with you current market conditions, maybe what's going on with the 10-year lately, with interest rates. They seem to have stabilized maybe a little bit. And for now, again, instead of the 5, 6, 7 rate decreases they were discussing at the end of last year, it's looking like it's possible we might be able to squeeze out one or two, hopefully. And between now and the end of the year. So that's the latest what's going on with rates. Let's see if I could find my rate information sheet here. Let's see, here's the rates now for bond loans, and let's see if I could find a way to share my screen. Let's see, setting step okay, so having a difficult time trying to find a way to share my screen, but I can tell you that bond loans right now for HEROES, and we're going to get into the HEROES loans, that's for first-time home buyers. Again, if you have not owned or resided in a primary residence over the last 3 years, you're considered a first-time home buyer. So if you have an investment property, but yet you don't live in it, you're renting, and you haven't owned a primary over the last 3 years, you are considered a first-time homebuyer, and or if you haven't owned any property over the last 3 years. So the HEROES program is for first-time homebuyers, which requires a minimum of a 640 credit score. Those rates on the FHA, USDA, and VA page are about 6.5 today. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are hovering around 7.25 to 7.5. So rates on the HEROES loan, it looks like they have ticked down. Well, it looks like they've kind of stayed flat. Maybe they came down 1/8, and again, maybe then they just bumped up another 1/8, give or take. So again, they've been stable, we'll call it, for the past several days or since it came out. It came out July 1st with, I think, 100 million. And as of now, there is 70 million available. So 30 million basically went, what's the date today? In X amount of days. What's X? 10 days. So if you're looking to get HEROES funds, or if you're looking to take advantage of course, the HEROES program, which allows a second loan with no payments, no interest, no payments for it's 5% of your loan amount up to $30,000. So you'll get your first loan, which is going to be an FHA, a VA, a conventional loan. And then you're going to get a second loan for a HEROES program, which is going to fund the day of closing. So you're still going to need earnest money deposit during the course of the transaction. We'll kind of get into that in a minute. But the HEROES loan will fund at the closing table. So that 5% of your loan amount, let's say you've got, I don't know, let's say a 300,000 loan on that 5%, which is 15,000, is going to get applied towards your closing costs or towards your credit, towards your closing costs and prepaid items. So that's 15,000 less that you need to bring to closing in cash or hard money. That 15,000, again, there's no paying it back. There's no monthly payment that you have to qualify for. There's no interest on that loan. You do have to pay it back under three conditions. Number one, you sell the property. You sell the property, you've got to pay back the 5% second. Number two, you refinance the property. You find out in the months to come or years to come, whatever you want to call it, won't be months. That rates have got to come down enough where you want to refinance, then you're going to have to pay off that second loan. And the third option is, Tom, I'm going to vacate that property and I'm going to use that now as an investment property and I'm going to live in a new primary. Okay, then you have to pay off that second loan. So those are the three circumstances of which you have to pay off your HEROES loan. But look, that 5% for the assistance for the down payment, closing fees, prepaid items is a huge help. Again, I don't want to call it free money. It's not free money, but you don't have to pay it back until you're ready to make that transition. Otherwise you can maybe use family, friends, gift funds, relatives, things like that. But if that's not an option, again, the HEROES loan is a is a great option for first-time home buyers. And you want to get qualified for that. It's a 640 minimum credit score. If you have questions on your credit or how to get qualified for that, please call us, the mortgage firm Wellington Lake Worth. My cell phone number, I think, is 561-719-2135. And that's what's basically going on with the HEROES rates today. The other thing I want to kind of touch on is basically general rates on what the 10-year is up to, and that too is kind of stabilized a little bit. Also wanted to basically touch on, the things that we're going to be needing. What do I do to get pre-approved, or what's the starting point to get pre-approved to see how much you're qualified for. So that's going to be basically your 2-year history, basically where you've been working for the last 2 years. Are you self-employed? Are you a wage earner? Do you get a salary? What's your commission structure and or your pay structure over the last 24 months? So typically what we're going to need is your W-2s for the last 2 years. If you were on a salary, your 2 or 3 most recent paycheck stubs is going to help us calculate your income. Your tax returns, we'll ask for your tax returns. I may not necessarily need them, but we'll certainly ask for your tax returns. Certainly if you're self-employed, we'll need your tax returns, but we're going to get back into that. Most recent checking account statements for the past 2 months. So your 2 months most recent checking account statements. This is going to show the money that you're going to be using for the down payment, for the closing fees, for the monies that you're going to be needing for the transaction. Once you're on shopping and we go through numbers and we gather all this information together and we go over some financing options and get a loan program together for you. The common question again in the industry is how much am I pre-approved for? But in reality, everything in the mortgage world is calculated on a monthly basis. So it's basically how much can you afford per month? And that's going to come down to property. Again, you're going to have 2 properties. Both of them are $450,000. I could afford one of them, but I can't afford another one. Well, the one I can't afford might have an HOA fee of $500 a month or $700 or something that helps you or prevents you from qualifying. So that's why basically when we go over a general pre-approval letter or numbers, we go over general numbers to give you an idea on how much to search for. Once you're out looking for a specific property, of course, you'll call us and you'll let you know, okay, Tom, I'm looking at 123 Main Street. I can look up the taxes. We can look up and see maybe what the insurance will be or an estimate and get a better idea. And certainly look up what the homeowners association fees are. So that's going to be the process basically with getting pre-approved. You want to reach out to us. We're going to do a soft credit report. It won't make any kind of dents on your credit at all. Look, if you've got if you've got Credit Karma, or if you've got a credit card, maybe that offers you your credit scores. I know some, I think Discover does. Maybe another one might offer you your credit scores. You can certainly get that and let us know. Look, I got my credit scores from my credit card, and we'll go on that. Now, I'm going to have to sooner or later pull your credit. I'm going to have to sooner or later see what the credit score is and what the financial obligations are. But just to get the conversation started and to see where you stand, I'll certainly take whatever you have as far as your credit scores from what you get from your credit cards. And basically, those are the items that we'll need. Everything is done electronically. So again, if you reach out to us, so certainly go to our website or our webpage, the mortgage firm Wellington Lake Worth. We can send you a digital application while you're sitting on the couch. You can apply online. Everything will go to us directly. You'll create your own private, virtual private link to upload all your documents directly to your application, and we can go ahead and get things started that way. Somebody's asking here, Carol, what type of loans is best for me? Well, let's see, Carol, there's FHA, VA, there's conventional. VA, you're only going to be approved for if you're a veteran. So if you don't have veteran benefits or you don't have previous military experience, a VA loan wouldn't be an option. However, there are conventional loans, there are FHA loans, and other type of loan products, of course, you can certainly qualify for. And bond loans as well. That might help with either closing fees or down payment assistance. And again, I use that word down payment assistance lightly. Down payment assistance, you'll still need the money if you're going to come and purchase my property, and I'm going to ask you for maybe $10,000 of earnest money deposit to hold. into escrow while I take my house off the market, that's money you're going to need to come up with. Now, you can, get that money back at the time of closing, or that 5%, second loan will help reimburse you for those funds at the time of closing, but no funds get dispersed to you until the day of closing. I just want to be sure that's kind of good. And I think that's basically it as far as what we were going to kind of go over today. Interest rates, again, seem to be tapering off a little bit. For those that might be looking to refinance, it might be a time to kind of consider, maybe start looking into it, maybe towards the end of the year, or send me maybe your statement, that you have currently right now. We'll see what your current rate is compared to what a refinance would be. Or again, if you have credit cards, I was listening today at CNBC, credit card debts are going up, including mine. And so if you want to stop paying that 22, 23%, and you have equity in your property, please give us a call. We'll see if we can either, help you with a cash out refinance to pay down some of those credit card debts at 22, 24%, or even a home equity line of credit. Go over with you that option to see if that's a better option, maybe than a cash out refinance. So, luckily it looks like going into the end of the year, things hopefully will taper off a little bit as far as the aggressive increase in rates we've, had over the past 12, 18 months. And of course, we're going into the election at the end of this year. So I'm sure some of that will take into consideration as we look at rates towards the end of the year. So that would be it more or less for me for today. I appreciate you stopping in or looking in or watching in, whatever the heck you're doing. Please call us at 561-719-2135. Liz Lopez, who's busy with some customers, can be reached at 561-601-1720. And Michael Dill can be reached at 561-312-2204. Thank you for logging in. We appreciate it. Again, the mortgage firm, Wellington, Lake Worth. We do very little advertising, as you can see, because you don't see us anywhere. So we appreciate any word of mouth that you can share. Go to our Facebook page, share it, friends, like us. If you don't, if you used this before in the past, please share the experience, and we certainly appreciate it. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and see you next week. Thanks.